Good morning, children. Good morning, Krusty. Good morning, Patty, and good morning, children. So, what you got for us today? Well, you know what? I was thinking, before you go into your lesson, I was thinking over the past week, it must have been really fun to beat Jesus. Oh, you think so, Krusty? Do you think he didn't suffer or anything? I think it must have been cool because I'll tell you why. Because he walked on water one time. I remember that. The apostles were in the boat and he just walked on the water. Well, yeah, that's true. That must be fun. And also he walked through walls. Do you remember when you told me about the resurrection? After that, he walked through the walls to see his friend. That's so cool. I want to walk through walls. That's true. And also, don't forget that he used to make people who were blind get their eyesight back. And also people who couldn't hear, he made them hear again. And people who was lame, he made them walk again. That's true. You're right. That must be pretty cool to do that and to see it. His apostles could do those things too because he gave them the power after. Yep. But I think it must be really fun to be Jesus because when you can do all that cool stuff, everybody likes you and everybody wants to be your best friend. What is that called? Best friend, BFF, right? Best friend forever. Everybody wants to be Jesus's best friend forever. Well, Krusty, a lot of people loved Jesus and wanted to be his friend, but not everybody. What? Some people didn't want to? Some people didn't like Jesus at all. Some people, in fact, hated Jesus. Hated Jesus? But how can you hate somebody who's so good? He was good all the time, right? Well, there is a reason, Krusty. Those who hated Jesus, it's because deep down they really hated God. Oh, that's right. That's like what you told me about the devil. Because the devil hates God because he's jealous. Because the devil wants to have the power and the authority. He wants to be like God and push people around. Well, God doesn't push people, but he wants to have power, Satan, so that he can push people around. That's right, Krusty. And remember that Satan, the devil, is the father of those who do evil. So the children are like the father. The people are like Satan. They want to have all the power that God has. They don't want to obey God. They want to be God. And so they know that Jesus is God, so they hate Jesus too. Oh, that's really terrible. So Jesus didn't have fun all the time. Sometimes he must have been sad. Yes, he was very sad and he suffered. It's suffering because Jesus made everything in the world and the air that they're breathing, and still they hate him. Oh, what that must mean that people didn't want to talk to Jesus. The people who hated him, I guess they never talked to him then, right? They just avoided him and crossed the street when he was coming. Well, that's the interesting thing, Krusty. They still wanted to talk to Jesus. Oh, they did. Even though they hated him, then they were jealous. They wanted to talk to him. I guess they had some moments where they wanted to learn something, right? No, it wasn't that, Krusty. They wanted to talk to him because they wanted to pretend to be his friend so that they could trick him and trap him, and they could get him to say something that would get him in trouble. That's a really bad reason to talk to somebody, to try to get them in trouble. That's right, Krusty. Some of those people had two faces. Two faces. Yes, they were two-faced. They were people who were nice to you when they come up and talk to you, but they hated you and said bad things about you when you weren't in the room. That's really terrible. That's a bad way to be with people. That's right, Krusty. So when they came to Jesus, they would start real nice and they would say, "Oh, Rabbi, teacher, listen, we know that you're a wonder worker and a miracle maker, so we just want to ask you a question." Oh, so they sounded nice, right? That's right. And then they would say things like, "So, listen, we have this little question. We were wondering about taxes." I don't know what that is. Well, taxes is the money that you pay to the king or the government to build the roads. Okay, so what did they ask him? They said, we just are confused. We don't know. Are we supposed to pay taxes to the king or are we not? Okay, so why was that a trick or a trap? Well, these people knew that if Jesus answered the question by saying no, he would get in trouble with the king. But if he answered and said yes, then Jesus would be in trouble with the people, and the people would be mad at Jesus. Oh, so no matter what Jesus said, no matter what answer he gave to their questions, they were going to make him be in trouble, they thought, right? That's right, Krusty. Well, that's kind of scary. Well, Jesus wasn't afraid of them at all, but he knew their hearts. And Jesus had wisdom, and he knew how to answer them. Oh, so what did he say? Well, so he asked somebody for a coin. Do you know what a coin is? Yeah, I do, because remember I gave away my quarters for some dimes. Yeah, that's right. So he took a coin, and he said, whose picture is on the coin? And they said, well, it's the king's picture. The king was named Caesar. And Jesus said, okay, if it belongs to the king, if it has his picture, then give it to the king. Oh, that was a very smart answer. That's right. Nobody was ever able to trap Jesus with a question. What else did they ask him? Well, one day they asked him a question about heaven. Okay, so what did they say? Well, they asked him some kind of made-up crazy question, and Jesus said, you know what? You guys don't even know anything about heaven. You're asking me a wrong question. You don't know the scriptures, the Bible. You don't know the power of God. And so they were kind of embarrassed. Oh, so these people, that when they asked questions of Jesus, they didn't really want an answer, right? That's right. There are some people who ask you a question, but they don't really want to know the answer. They don't want the truth. They just ask you a question to try to lay you a trap, to catch your foot in a trap. That's a very bad way to talk. That's right, Krusty. And when you learn to read, you can read in Ephesians, that's one of the letters in the Bible, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 25, and it says that we should put away all lying. We should never lie. Oh, that's right. Well, I think sometimes in the past I told a little lie to get myself out of trouble. Like if my mom said, did you eat your broccoli? Once I said I did, but I really fed it to the dog. Well, Krusty, I hope you asked God to forgive you. Oh, I did. And Krusty, you know, God blesses the truth, but he doesn't bless a lie. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means when we tell the truth, even when it's very hard to tell the truth, even when we think we'll get in trouble by telling the truth, God is going to bless it because he likes the truth. He loves the truth, but he hates lies. So if we tell a lie, maybe it will seem to work out good for a few minutes, but in the end, a lie doesn't work at all. It always gets you in trouble with you when you lie. Okay, so you mean Jesus never told a lie to get out of trouble, right? No, Jesus never told a lie. He always told the truth because Jesus is the Lord of truth. The Lord of truth. So everything he does is true, right? Jesus and God, the Father, they never tried to trick us, right? That's right, Krusty. So we should always be like Jesus because he gave us the power to be like him. Everyone who trusts him can do the same things that he does and tell the truth. Okay, well, I'm mad at those guys who are mean to Jesus and try to trick him. And I don't like that. I'm not going to tell a lie anymore. I'm going to ask God to help me to tell the truth. That's right. And Krusty, you know, Jesus finally, those guys who were trying to trick him, finally, they're the ones who put him on the cross and put him to death, even though they couldn't get him to lie. But even that worked out good, Krusty, because God used Jesus' death to save us. If Jesus didn't die, we couldn't go to heaven, but he died. So those wicked men, they just fell into their own trap. Oh, that's really interesting what God did there. Oh, so much to process in one day. So thank you for that story, Patty. And I'm sure that next week you have another good story about Jesus too. But as for me, for now, I know. You got to go, right? Yeah, I got to go. Bye-bye.